I tell people I have a Rambler, they go, oh. And then they see the car and it's completely different. So Rambler actually started out as a bicycle company, and they were the second largest bicycle company behind Pope. And eventually they sold their bicycle business to Pope when they started doing automobiles. And so Rambler is where the name came from. It was actually a bicycle. And in the late 1800s, they became fascinated with automobiles. And they started making automobiles, little one-cylinder engines, and then they expanded on from there. So one of the primary changes that they created was they went away from a cone clutch, which was the old style clutch, to an expansion clutch. And that was really innovative. It was a very, very powerful, very strong clutch. And there was a few other little modifications that they did which are very interesting, and they have a lever that comes down on top of the spark plug, and you can raise that and to check your spark. It's just a very simple innovation, but it allows you to adjust your spark by working with a battery or with a mag and checking the strength of your spark. Very simple and beautiful. In, I believe it was 1903, all cars prior to that had the engine under the seat and a tiller steering. And they put the steering wheel on the right-hand side. They mounted the engine in the front of the chassis, and they had the car completely designed, built, engineered, and so forth. And just before they went into production, they chickened out because they were afraid it was too revolutionary and nobody would buy this strange automobile. So they put the engine back under the seat and they went back to a tiller steering until several years later. It was kind of like the upper middle class. It wasn't a terribly expensive automobile. I mean, it was $2,500, which was a lot of money in 1910, but it wasn't like a Simplex or up in that range, which was in the $6,000, $7,000 range. But this car was very, very well known as a very high quality, very dependable automobile for the price. And early on, before Mr. Jeffries died and his son took over the business, they only made $3,000 a year, and that's all he wanted to do. He wanted to make 3,000 very high quality automobiles for what you paid for it. But it's a great driving car. It's a 45 horse car, so it'll go anywhere on any tour. It's a great touring car. It's not too heavy, not too light. So it's a lovely driving car.